Chapter 2141. At the moment that person rose into the sky, he sadly discovered that he was thrown to the left side of the cruise ship by Alex, and the ship in which he came was on the right side of the cruise ship. Moreover, Alex's hand was so powerful that he threw him for more than 10 meters in one fell swoop. The whole person fell directly into the cold water with a huge parabola. The location here is not far from the open sea. The water depth has reached thousands of meters, and it is winter, and the sea is bitterly cold. When he fell into the sea with a thump, the impact itself made him feel pain. Immediately afterward, the clothes on his body were completely soaked in cold water, and all of a sudden he felt like an ice cellar. In this case, he could only struggle desperately, trying to swim back to his boat. However, the sea was very windy, and he was just in the downwind direction. So no matter how hard he swam, he still failed to narrow the distance between him and the cruise ship by even a few meters. Just when he was desperate, there were a few more thumps on the sea. It turned out that the few people left were thrown into the sea one by one, like dumplings. The lives of these people were far worse than the first one. After all, the first kid was not beaten and was thrown down. But other people didn't have such good luck. They were first beaten and wounded by Alex, and then thrown into the sea, which basically cost them half their lives. The remaining half-life was not enough in such cold water. Several people screamed and thumped desperately for fear of sinking directly to the bottom of the sea and losing their lives here. On the ship carrying Ruoli, the captain and several sailors were shocked. What happened? Ruoli led the team. A total of 7 people went to fight, but 6 were thrown into the sea. The sailor asked at this moment, "Captain, do we want to save them?" The captain said with an indifferent expression, "Save them? Don't forget our mission. Focus all your energy on Miss Sue. The lives of these people are not worth mentioning." When the sailor heard this, he had to shut his mouth reluctantly. At this time, on the deck of another ship, Ruoli's heart had already turned cold. She really didn't expect Alex to have such abnormal strength. Moreover, not only was his strength abnormal, but his working style was also abnormal. He actually threw all her subordinates into the sea. Is this something a human would do? As the saying goes, if you want to kill, you have to kill them. Their strength was not good. It didn't matter if you killed them directly, but why throw them into the sea? Thinking of this, Ruoli couldn't help but worry about herself. In this way, she was probably not Alex's opponent. If she was thrown into the sea later, wouldn't it be a shame? Ruoli didn't doubt her abilities. She believed that even if she was thrown into the sea, she could easily swim back to the boat. It's just that she had grown up so much and had never suffered such a loss, so she couldn't accept it for a while. At this moment, Alex had already thrown all 6 young men into the sea, clapped his hands, and said with a look of contempt, "Is the Sioux family's dog so capable? If the Sioux family strength is so poor, then I think it should almost give up the seat of the first family." When Ruoli heard this, she was immediately furious. The thing she couldn't stand most was that someone dared to be disrespectful to the Sioux family. Although she was still an unrecognized, illegitimate daughter, she felt that the blood of the Sioux family was flowing in her bones. Therefore, in any case, she would not let others blaspheme the Sioux family.